My glasses, you clumsy fool.
Glasses. Did you call me a fool?
Yes.
Ring, 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 hero simps, virgins, and also intro haters. And welcome back to Krown's magical redemption.
Well. Welcome back to the Krown Crypto channel. It is a very slow Thursday morning over here from Helsinki, Finland. We got some geopolitical issues coming into the midst right now. Can I have a little bit of an intro or an intro to the intro stream right here as I finish off the rest of my coffee, man. But just looking around and kind of referencing the title of this video with the old war talks going on right now between Russia and Ukraine and all that grandstanding going on right now. The more and more that I look into this, the more and more that I get a little bit more scared, to be quite honest with you. Now, I'm a terrible person to ask about these sort of situations because obviously I'm not an insider, but I am very easily turned on my own head whenever I see something that is, remotely posturing a threat of war. So that's a bit of a reference to the title today, and ultimately, hopefully everything works out. Hopefully we all recognize that we can all be friends. All countries can become one. We shouldn't even have these fucking borders anyways, because you know what? We live on the same goddamn earth, and we live in the same goddamn universe, and we all gonna make it. That's right. Wag me with my fucking nations as well. Just kidding. That's where the bullshit stops, my friends. But let me just take a few more sippy sips of this. I'll read over some of the comments right now. See that we already got 750 people watching right now. That is insane for a very slow day like today. 220 likes on the video. We're trending down, but you know what? It's okay. It's to be expected, especially when the market is very slow. We got only the true believers, the staunchest, the most ardent of crypto believers in the house right now. And I'm gonna have a little bit of a sippy sip of this. And holy fucking moly, man! There's actually a lot of familiar faces here. This is good. Good tea is coming when the glasses are on. It's more so for my eyesight, man. I feel like my eyes get very dried out just from looking at computer screens all damn day long, which is my fault, obviously. I also look at my fucking phone too, which I need to get some sort of like a consequence system going on where I have like a robot follow me around and slap me in the face when I look at my phone too much. It's like almost it's a reflex. You open up your phone, you put on the damn fucking Instagram, you put on the damn Twitter, and it's like, what have I done with my life? Nothing. Nothing. And I'm looking at these stupid stories of people that I don't know and I don't really care about. And what the fuck is this? It's a waste of time. Why do I need to know about this? This is ridiculous. Anyways, what's up, Mr. Dad Rackus? What's up, David Snarty? Orca Capital, hidden by Nikki Page. He must have been a very bad boy. What's up, Calafrios? It is, you still believe? Well, I still believe as well, man. It just depends on your time frame there, of course. Baz Anderson, man, that is a difficult name to be saying right there. Mr. Mark B, he says, go fuck yourself, everyone. From the Plum Master himself. You gotta fucking love him. One of my favorite guys in the Discord right there. Crypto Chrissy, good morning to you as well. Mac Drew, Fredericks Umanis, nice name, sir. Krown's chest hair is here too, man. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. I was considering shaving you off, but until you showed up in my damn chats, well, I think I'm in now. What's up, Willis? Good morning to you as well, sir. Philson, there he is, our lovely moderator. I think we have a few moderators in here. Gohan's mom, indeed. Who else do we have as far as the moderators go? I know we got Nikki Page. Who else? I imagine it's probably a very slow day. Everyone's taking a nice little nappity nap, and this is the time to be doing it, really. Well, actually not really, because, well, it's through the most boring times where the most important price action actually does happen, even though it sounds like a bit of a conundrum. But, if you actually do think about it, well, that is where a lot of the actual major pivots on price action, major money is made, but requires a shit ton of patience, which is the true currency in today's day and age. The people who can actually have patience and focus, those are the ones who typically do succeed, because, we're all caught up in like this 7-second fucking TikTok video bullshit, which it's like, what can you actually learn in 7 seconds? I mean, not much, man. You can't get too damn deep. That's why I do think that Joe Rogan's podcast is actually pretty damn important now, or not important, but popular, just because, some people, or at least I think there's a good amount of people who are obviously very interested in a more long form conversation where you can get a lot more deep into things, because that is where the true value is, at least in my opinion. Anyways, I'm just wasting time while I sip on this coffee. I apologize about that. We'll get into this soon enough. It is. I would say it is important, Dad Rackus. I mean, it's just two people talking, and that's. I don't see anything wrong with that. It's not like he's fucking creating an army or anything like that. I mean, I don't understand the pushback on a podcast where it's quite literally just two people talking. Like as harmless as I could realistically think. What's up, Jackass Mint? Good morning to you, man. Who else do we have? Krown chest hair RSA. What is RSA? Never love you, bro. Never shave me. Wasn't planning on it. Although I was planning on it because I just got this contraption to get my nose hairs out too. I was gonna try it on my chest hairs as well, but maybe I keep them for right now. Why not, man? Why not? Time to wear your Elton John glasses, Flux, please. I actually do have some Elton John glasses over here, but I've never worn them, man. RSI and chest hair. It's a crazy thing. I never shave my body hair ever, so it's just like it's the same hair is growing ever since I've been fucking growing chest hairs, which it's probably my mid-teens, man. I had a nice little beard going on by the time I was in middle of high school, I think. Man, fun times. Not so much fun times. Hated those times. Hey, what's up, African Crypto Warlord? What's up, man? Goofed. Good morning, sirs. What's up, brother? It must be a late morning for you as well. All good, though. All good, indeed. I'm just going to take a few more sips of this, and then we'll get right into it, my friends.
You were born with a beard.
I was born with a beard. Maybe. It's actually, well, whatever. We don't need to get into that discussion right now. I'm only going to say things that I should probably not be saying here. So, oh, nice. I actually got filled. Okay, probably shouldn't be in position whilst on stream as well. But you know what? We can make it work for today. So let me just actually open up a little window over here so I can make sure that I don't get absolutely fucking wrecked during this, because it usually doesn't end out too well for me when I do take position on stream. But I suppose that was kind of a more obvious one right there. All right, I'll leave one more sippy sip left in the tank there, and we can get into it right now. Okay, cool. So, man, holy shit, we actually do have a lot of people in here now. Over 1,000 people watching, 440 likes on the video. Great, that is amazing, especially for a very slow day. Very, 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 very lovely community. Echoes the end. Good morning to you as well, sir. Good morning to you as well. LARP lines, please. Yeah, so I actually want to jump right into the content of today. So as we get into Bitcoin, I want to talk about just right off the fucking bat here, the most important number, the most important level, the most important everything that I think this analysis is really going to be hinged upon. Now we're going to come back here into the underlying market dynamics a little bit later at this analysis, but I actually want to start this off with what I think is the most important thing today, which usually this is actually the most important thing on the global open interest. Actually, we did see a bit of a reset yesterday, by the way, so that's going to be a big focus in a few seconds here. But first things first, the moons! No, I actually didn't intend for this, but this actually did land at a pretty fun place right here, right? So I do actually want to go over this rather briefly, rather quickly, in the sense that, look, you can backtest these damn moons for the past year, and they actually have a better than 80% hit rate. Look, I know it sounds fucking crazy. I know it looks absolutely ridiculous. I know that to the smart, scientific people, scientific minds of the world, you probably look at this and you're like, that's bullshit. And hey, maybe it is, man, but just blindly trading these for the past year, that's actually been, well, rather profitable. Let me turn off the alerts for right now. We'll get to that a little bit later. What I think is actually a little bit more interesting and a little bit more relevant and something that's a little more tangible for an explanation as to why these things have generally be working, especially around here on about the 19th or 20th of this month of January, as actually, which yesterday was the 19th. Yeah, today's the 20th. You will actually notice, as I have put on vertical bars with all these blue bars, and our most recent one, obviously the green one here, that all of the 19th to 20th days of the month have been marked off here. And they typically do coincide with major highs and major lows on price action, sometimes even macro, or I wouldn't say macro highs, although we do have one macro low right here, but, major highs and major lows that have been, some pretty easy trades, to be fair, in hindsight. So I'll just briefly run you through this, but obviously you can look at this one yourself. I'm going to take off the moons for right now, and you can see right here, coming in from just 1 year ago, the 21st of January of 2021, that was your major low at about $29,000 before going up to $65,000 right here. This obviously in February, your major high, another major high right here, another major low right here, obviously the macro low right there thus far on our $30,000 tick over the summer, then again right here, and then again right here on the bear trap actually. And then what do we have right here? Another low before a $10,000 move to the upside, and then another low right here before a $30,000 move to the upside. High right here. Another high right here, low right here before a $6,000 rally. And then once again, we're kind of hitting into that region. So what is the explanation for why this could theoretically work? Well, around the third Friday of every month is what's known as regular expiration for equity options. And because Bitcoin does essentially trade as a higher beta asset to, well, US equities, especially the indices like NAS, you can probably align that you're going to expect similar sort of volatility around those, around those dates. Now, this is obviously, as you have seen, not always going to be a low. Sometimes we do see some highs within that region, but the big sort of thing with it is that a lot of the time you do see major pieces of price action pivot around those regions. And in this case, coming off of a major move to the downside like this, probably, or at least it would be a little bit more on the upside potential right there. Of course, at the end of the day, price action is going to matter most. And what I actually meant to really start this stream off with was right here. So you're going to notice today, similar to yesterday, but even more so pertinent today, is that all momentum oscillators from a stochastic momentum perspective right here are postured around the 41.6 to 41.7 region. Here's your daily, which, by the way, did fulfill the criteria for yesterday to remain with upside momentum from a stochastic perspective. And that will be continuing into today with any sort of a closure today above 41,700. Now, keep in mind, the more that this does kind of swing around here with upside momentum without really busting on through and doing some more interesting price action to the upside in this case, and realistically, back above that 42,400 region, specifically on a 4-hour closure, no less, or an hourly above about 42.7 would be okay as well. I do look at this as potentially a bearish reset, actually, is what the general idea of this would be. Now, we do see that a humongous setup is actually staring us right in front of our very face. And of course, what is going to be telling us about that? That's going to be right here with the HVP on this, which is obviously at pretty much, lows in this case. We haven't seen it this low basically since late December, before that nice $6,000 rally from about 46,000 or a little bit below 46,000 bucks all the way up to about 52. Of course, it did fail. This is not like a reversal signal or anything like that, but it does suggest that we are going to be seeing, 10 to 20% move, relatively fast, very, very soon as well. And obviously, this is also consistent with what we see over here on daily BBWP, which we identified a few days ago, now printing 1, 2, 3, 4 0% reads in a row, in fact. So this is becoming incredibly likely. We typically do see these things on major reversals on price action. For what it's worth, it is more often a reversal than a continuation, but that is, of course, going to be decided by actual price action itself. So I want to keep these numbers right at the forefront of the stream. Again, 41.7 for the daily. The buy daily is also freshly up above 41.6. You're going to be looking at the 12-hour now, which is still having a nice reset here without giving any, continuation on price action, which is showing 42,250. The 6-hour is going to be showing what? Also corrective and will be remaining up as long as Bitcoin's above 41,650. 4-hour is going to be showing what? Is going to be showing, guess what the fucking number is? 41,650 as well. What is the hourly showing? Take a fucking wild guess. Once again, 41,750 right there. So a lot of numbers postured around that region. And what's very interesting about that right here is actually very, very simple. If we even go down to an hourly in this case, you will notice, if you are perceptive, that our last what would be higher low is coming in right around that region on this wick down that we saw yesterday after that first rejection from about the 42,400 region, the exact area that we kind of spoke about that was relevant for a 4-hour time frame. So, if you are bullish, you're looking at this as a bit of a swing failure pattern with your first higher low in the making right here. This is not going to be confirmed, at least from the way that I look at things in my view and my estimate, as long as Bitcoin's closing 4-hour deltas below about 42,400. But right now, it is looking a lot more likely that this is going to be a bit of a trap. So before, I do think that it was more pertinent to be looking for the downside continuation here. But here's the thing: when you see this sort of price action kind of hanging around what would have been the breakdown region without getting continuation, 1, 2, 3 days, it's going to start to wear out its welcome, and those typically are trap situations. So I want to bring this full circle with the title of today, which has to do with war. Look, if there is some sort of big announcement, like we're announcing war or something like that, it's like terrible, right? But if something like that really does get serious, I actually would be looking for an initial first flash crash, to be quite honest with you, and then perhaps over time, if Bitcoin truly is going to be the risk-off asset that I think a lot of people look for it to be, which it has not been true thus far, to be fair. Or not to be fair, it's like it has not been true at all, as of recent, or just in its whole history. That would be, well, likely good for it long term if it wants to emerge as something like that in the event of like some serious actual war talks between Russia and Ukraine, which obviously incorporates the U.S. and then its European allies, and that gets into a whole terrible situation that probably no one actually wants. Anyways, I would consider this a trap confirmed and reversal, not just in progress, but also confirmed with, again, either a 4-hour closure above 42,400 or an hourly above this wick rejective high right here, which is also directly in line with the hourly 200 simple at about 42,700. Actually, a couple ticks above there, but that's fine. Anyways, close enough is close enough in this game, and this would be indicative of a bit of a reset, or sorry, a bit of a reversal right there. What I want to bring this forwards now and kind of loop this one through is the global open interest, of which we have seen it actually reset pretty much all the way down to the areas that we were looking for. If you caught this on the hourly data feed for the global open interest, which anyone can get right now, you can find it in the link description below. This is all free information. For what I know, we offer up the most free information across any of the interwebs, and if we don't, just let us know what you want to see, and we can probably offer it up if it's reasonable and doesn't cost us a fucking arm and leg. But yes, we can do this one right here. And we did see an initial sort of crash, I wouldn't say crash, but we saw a very big spike down right there, pretty much around what you would draw as a regression between all of our lows, not all of our lows, but the open interest lows that we did see from March, of course, September right here at 40, more recently in December, and of course coming in back in line with this region would be right around there. In fact, I put out a chart on this one on Twitter like a week or two ago. That would still be valid. Now, I don't necessarily know if those things work out in their totality, but I thought that it was interesting just because we do see a bit, you can just with your mind's eye kind of draw a regression between all of these lows. So I'm curious to see if that does hold, and then if it doesn't, well, probably the next shattering move to the downside would do it as well. But here's the thing, I do suspect that we are going to see a lot of shorts closing. A lot of this open interest, especially within the last month or so, was very likely short interest, and that makes sense. I mean, people putting on short positions in a major downtrend, a daily downtrend that goes all the way up to a 5-day and a weekly, of course, that is the time for that to be relevant. So if we are going to see open interest drop a little bit further, it could very well be actually shorts closing, which is kind of what you want to see in order to end your, in this case, our daily downtrend if you want to be, long-term bullish, obviously. So I'm making some assumptions here, of course, but I do want to pull this through with just another piece of information, that being the funny rate. Of course, we've seen this, slowly trend up from the December lows, of which we did see negative 0.05 or around there, just a little bit more than that, which is very similar and reminiscent to what we saw over the summer here as well, where we had that initial spike down on that first major heart-wrenching move to 30,000 bucks, and then of course trending up over time. There's your little bear trap right there. In fact, a rather big bear trap from 30,000 all the way up to 69 in totality, and then we got the same sort of thing going on right here. Not as impressive. Obviously, this is a much smaller segment, or sorry, much in relationship to the summer lows. It's a little bit more minuscule, to be fair, but that's what you do expect because we're very likely looking at one major, massive macro consolidation, or at least that's the way they look at things right here. Gone over this a million damn times. Where's my damn chart for this one? Yeah, here's my damn chart for this one. Something like this, and you can see that Bitcoin is, well, you actually can't see it because my chart's a little bit off right there, but Bitcoin, Jesus Christ, my damn crossover levels are in the way right now. But basically the 618 retracement is actually directly pretty much at where we're at right now. So I do look at that as very, 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 very important, and you typically do expect at minimum some big bounces around that region, and at maximum some revert, your major lows in the context of a long-term, in this case, what would be an ascending triangle, something like this essentially. So again, when we are looking at something like this, which actually I will move down to a more relevant region right there, you can estimate that, about 70 to 75% full towards the apex of this would-be formation is about where you do expect a high probability of an actual breakout. So again, this is really, 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 really far away, and I should actually be talking about other things that are a lot more relevant before we get into that. So you know what? I'm going to get off that topic for right now, but hey, that obviously does imply that, look, as long as Bitcoin is closing, again, at dailies above that wick low that we saw from December 4th right here, I do not consider this a breakdown just yet, and I do not have targets that are actionable or reasonable to be looking for into the mid 30,000s until that does happen. Doesn't mean that it can't happen, but that is my trigger for that. Again, it's coming in from this wick low right here, and that is exactly how we saw it over the summer as well, and I would be looking for the same sort of interpretation right here. I won't go through the full explanation on this, but I do want to just briefly call this out because, well, it's fun and it gives me a little bit of drawing to be doing, but let me just find a damn chart for this. All right, this chart will, this one will do. And what do we have? We do have a bit of a fractal relationship between what happened over the summer and what's happening, kind of what's going on right on over here. Now, this is a potential. It is not confirmed. We'll talk about confirmation. We've already spoken about invalidation. Invalidation, obviously, with the closure on a daily, no less than your December 4th wick low. There we go. So I'm talking about this area right here over the summer and this area right here more recently, right? So let's first zero in on the area from the summer. You get that first initial major drive to the downside, right? pops back up, creates a range high. Pretty much your range highs come in right around on that test at what would be the green 55, and you can see that that does hold consistently throughout the next 2.5 to 3 month long corrective phase. Now there are several tests back down to the lows of this, but again, no closures below. Even this one over here, it does not close below this wick low right here. It's extremely fucking close, but that is why a trap is a trap. But again, you get this first major move right there, boom, boom, and then off to the fucking races, confirmed fully with your move back above the range highs, which was your rejective highs in June right here. Now, you will notice that after that second major drive to the downside, there was a slew of lower highs after that onto the close that was like pretty much right at the lows, to be fair, before the bear trap. But, you know, I just want to kind of postulate over here. We could very easily be looking at something, that's going to take a long fucking time, basically. Anyways, where are your range highs? They're right here. Where was that first initial wick to the downside? Right there, obviously. Where's our current one? Right here. You can see it's already slinking over, being governed by the 21, just like you saw right here. And, well, until Bitcoin actually really gets an open and closure above that, there's not even like an intermediary confirmation on that. But of course, as we looked at earlier with the short-term reversal potential in place, that would be the first, probably most relevant signal for this, to get the next very small but important level of validation. That leads into obviously this condition. Then you're probably looking at something like this where it comes back down perhaps. And then if you do really see Bitcoin start to get back above, next the 55 in this case, which is starting to crawl its way back down below the $46,000 breakdown level from basically December, that would be the next major thing. And then of course, full on confirmation, no questions asked with major targets to the upside, which we're going to get into in a second, is going to be with a daily above the $52,000 region right here, just really even maybe a 4 hour as well. A formidable time frame at minimum would look pretty damn good. Now, here's also the thing as we get rid of all of this, right? Let's do this. And remember back over the summer, we did identify, although I did have major concerns with or skepticism with this as a head and shoulders, right? This being your left shoulder, this being your complex head, and this being your right shoulder over here. This was obviously, negated, especially after this region right here, just because you want to see symmetry between the left shoulder and the right shoulder, typically speaking. So when you see kind of hanging on like this, probably not going to work out. Regardless of that, there were some pretty major targets to the downside. In this case, it was pointed down toward like $10,000. Didn't really think that was reasonable, but there's an equally as important region to be aware of to the upside. You can actually apply that same implied move to what would be the top of your right hand shoulder, and that would be your implied target on a failure call of these. And what do you know? That's pretty much exactly where Bitcoin topped out more recently, in the upper $60,000 territory. Well, we got the same thing going on right here, right? Where Bitcoin does have left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and your neckline coming in right around here. And let's just, be a little more conservative with it. And if Bitcoin were to trade above the $52,000 region, not just resolving that current range, it would also imply a target all the way up to the mid to upper $70,000 territory, which would obviously be in line with the other formations that we were looking about. And of course, I do want to call this out as well over here on CME. This is still very much valid and available, although sloppy as all fucking hell, but that's okay for right now. We're just going to move down the right buttocks there, as someone identified in a comment that made me laugh for a while the other day, but basically something like this, right? And you do have a falling channel or falling wedge, no matter, depending upon which way you kind of want to chart it right here. Both are, it's technically more of a wedge, to be fair. If I go to maybe log scale, then it's more of a channel. Yeah, in this case, either which way, you are starting to see some signals that this one actually is looking for potentially a resolution relatively soon. You expect to see these sorts of things when you get that first sort of double bottom on an ever so slightly higher low, which we have right here. Ever so slightly, and then what confirms it is getting back above that last rejective high, which is right here, and then putting in a little bit of a rally somewhere right around here, and then doing the old busting action when you come back down around here. That would be bust. No, that would be bad. In this case, you want to see something like this, and then maybe a bit of a pullback back down into 45,000 bucks. And then of course this does have an implied target as well as a falling channel, which would be pointed up towards about $55,000 or so. The problem with that is that if you are bearish, that's exact if you are bearish, you're going to just draw on your fucking charts. No, if you are bearish, that's where you're looking for on your next lower high for the weekly, essentially, which would be right between the 0.5 and the 618. So I do want to represent both sides equally as well. And I do still think that this is probably the more likely thing to be happening. I do believe that whether you're bullish or bearish, you're probably looking for major bounces from here before continuation if you're super bearish, or you're obviously looking for bigger bounces right here if you're bullish, because you're bullish, and well, up equals good, I guess. But ultimately, this would be the big bad problem area, assuming that validation happens to begin with. So please do understand where I'm kind of drawing all these conclusions from. You even actually see the 4-hour 200 simple kind of governing this area as well right here. Or sorry, is that no? Apologies, it is not the yes, actually it is right there, and I will actually move in line with that. It's probably gonna be better. Anyways, a little bit more tangible in this case. So ultimately, that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. What would negate this, and what would essentially make me, I guess, look for a downside move first before anything else? Well, it's pretty much the same shit that we looked at right around here, right? Remember, all of the momentum oscillators on pretty much all time frames are postured right around this level. Pretty much the higher low that you'd be looking at if you do want to be bullish right here. Just point blank period, nothing more complicated than that. And you're looking for your next sort of short-term, medium-term validations above this region right here. Until then, well, going to be a little bit of a waiting game. I do think that we are looking for a resolution of this, as I did say before end of week. I was even looking for it more or less yesterday. In any case, we obviously didn't get it. We did get a test to the top side and the bottom side of those ranges, but not an actual breakout in this case, or at least confirmed breakout, of course, as no official closures were had above or below those regions. And so I am looking for this, probably before end of week, and likely going to be catalyzed by one of the situations that you're hearing about in the world right now. Anyways, hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Bitcoin. Oh shit, I should actually talk about, like, what's your downside, or what would be my downside target if Bitcoin does break below this region right here. It's got to be the same one as before, back down to the $40,000 level. I would be looking for another bounce off of $40,000. I don't know if I'd call continuation to new lows just yet, based off of that. I would be looking for a short-term bounce here, and then I want to come back to it and see it again. I wouldn't have a further call on that. Obviously, if 40,000 does let go, and you do see a closure below this region, below the 4th of December wick lows right here on a daily, then yes, I would very likely be looking for, I would be looking for, a move down somewhere around about $38,000, give or take a little bit from that target. Until then, though, I do actually think that Bitcoin has a bit more of a short-term try right here. It's kind of the perfect conditions for this. Extremely low volatility. No one's paying attention to this market right now. The market, is devoid of most participants, not even just obviously not just retailers, but, pretty much everyone. It seems like no one's talking about it anymore, which is exactly kind of what you want during these more important pieces of price action. So with all of that in mind, I hope that this was in some way helpful. And there you go for Bitcoin, sirs and zers. Lovely. All right, let me polish off the rest of this coffee, and then we'll get into some comments over here. Let me just double check. Oh my God, there is a lot of comments for today. What the hell? What are you guys doing? Like, go and do something more important with your life. Sorry. But hey, I'm glad that people hang out here with me anyway. So that's that I am grateful for, certainly. We got Mr. Rupin Masrani first. What's up, brother? Weekly of a Link versus Ethereum. Okay, yeah, we can definitely do that as my voice kind of cracks in the background. Let's see what we got on Binance for this one. You're looking at a 3-day and a weekly. I'm actually not a fan of the 3-day chart. I'm a fan of the 2-day chart. From what I can see right here, I really don't like it, though. Not a fan of that chart, nor am I a fan of this chart as well, long term, obviously. But is this one going to very likely put in a major bounce on the macro scale around the 4,500-ish region? Probably yes. This one's been beat to absolute shit long term. Looks like I actually have a chart on this one from before. I don't know when the hell I did this one last. It must have been like half a year to a year ago, because I was using these big old white bars right there, and they're actually still working right there too. But I do want to make this one a little bit more beautified in this case. I'm a visual person after all. And in this case, I'm probably looking for a range to occur on a weekly scale here for a while, for the foreseeable future. This is obviously a blow off top, a parabolic blow off top at that. Here's what the log chart looks like. And I'm just essentially looking for this one to kind of oscillate on the lows at best for a long time. When I say a long time, I mean, I want to see weekly BBWP get all the way down to like teens at minimum, probably more like single digits for a potential major reversal. And that's just naturally going to take some time. So while this one is having a a good rally right there. Obviously, I think that this rally is actually pretty much already spent, and I'd have no reason to be looking at this one as quote unquote ready for anything sustained to the upside, especially as long as you're closing even dailies below 10,000 satoshis, and even then I'd just be looking for a move up to about I'd be looking for a move up to 17,000 satoshis, and I would still not really call a macro reversal. I'd be looking for it to do something more like this. Let's say if it goes like that, boom, 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 there's your lark blinds, Nikki Page, and back above this region is where I would say, okay, the accumulation period is over. It's time to be looking for, up into the right on this one. But for right now, not a fan of this chart. At least long term, I think it's going to be baking there for a long time, to be quite honest with you. Hey, what's up, Mr. Pascal Gene? He says, how is TIA applicable to alts when they ride on Bitcoin? Well, don't you understand that all of them are fractally related to each other? So obviously, Bitcoin TIA is almost always going to coincide with altcoin TIA. In fact, for the people who listen to this content, you probably noticed that more often than not, 90% of the time, except for a few altcoins here and there, are pretty much the exact same analysis as Bitcoin, just different levels and in varying degrees of strength and weakness. Usually a little bit more on the weaker side, but for the for the top alts, they go a little bit more on the stronger side. Sometimes they move first as well. So yeah, man, no, I think it's like we actually have the same idea with that, but I take it the other way. I'm like, that's exactly what you want. Now, I would agree with you. I don't really see the advantage to trading altcoins when you could just look at Bitcoin for direction, and Bitcoin's direction is going to probably matter more for the direction of altcoins anyways, and you can trade Bitcoin on leverage, and it has better liquidity to begin with. So I don't really see like too much of an advantage of trading illiquid altcoins. Especially when a lot of the time they'll have more points of failure potentially. Like you could have a CEO or a founder or whatever go to jail, or I don't know, come into some sort of issues, that has nothing to do with what you're looking at. Obviously, Bitcoin doesn't have that. There are other points failures, but those same points failures would probably apply to that altcoin as well. So I just see it as more inherent risk for, not any better reward. But basically, I agree with you. I would actually take the other stance of it. It's like, yeah, you can, whatever TA that you apply to Bitcoin is usually going to apply to an altcoin, except if they're like extremely shitty. If you're talking about like the dog of the dog shit coins, or if you're talking about some of the really, really good ones, those ones can play a little bit different than Bitcoin, but still their strength is going to be related to Bitcoin in a sense where if Bitcoin moves, they're probably going to move more if they're relatively strong, and if Bitcoin is is going to go down, then they're probably going to go down more if they're relatively weak. But they all kind of play within a very similar fractal relationship with each other. And again, you'll notice that it's pretty much 90% of the time the same analysis for Bitcoin as it is going to be on altcoins as well. So yeah. Cole Mortimer 50 says, thanks for the hey man, all good. Thank you for that. I appreciate those sentiments, man. Could you look at SYA on the ASX? Sure. Okay, so we got some real stocks here, but maybe not real, seeing that's on Australian exchange, which after knowing Nimbo for a while now, man, it seems like Australian exchange is just another name for OTC is what it seems like to me, daily and weekly. I do think that you got a little bit of a local high going on right here. I do think that this one will work its way sideways and down. I would not say that this is a bad chart, however, at least let me go to a weekly first. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a bad chart. I just think that you're going to be ranging a little bit more between your current highs, which is 15.5 cents, and you're probably going to see another move back down somewhere around your range lows at 11.5 cents. The only way that I really change around this analysis is with quite literally a daily closure above this level that I marked off right here, which is 15.5 cents. At that point, I'd say, hey, this one's ready to go up and to the right, back around its 18.5 to 20 cent highs region, and probably even make new highs after that. But for right now, I'm seeing volatility trending down right here, probably looking for something a little bit more like this, bounces along the way, spend some time, and then if you see something like that without actually breaking 11.5 cents to the downside, probably going to be resolved to the upside long term, but I don't think it's going to be doing anything interesting anytime soon for what it's worth. And I think that you just saw another local high right there for what it's worth as well. Anyways, Jack Hassman, hey, good morning to you, man. Cardano USD for and daily. Sure. All right, let's go check out the old Derpio right here. Derpio, show me your Herpio. And what do we have? We have Carderpio, symbol ADA versus the dollar. And I always fear putting a video on Cardano. Just, do you see what I did there? Because whenever I do and it's bearish, people get very, they're very unhappy about that. Obviously, I understand that the majority of people are very reasonable and they don't really care, or they just understand that analysis is analysis. But I was reading a comment last night from someone who's like, yeah, it's always the people who bought in at the top and are wrecked now that talk bad about Cardano. It's like, actually, I've never traded in my life. And I was actually quite bullish on it on the way up too. But hey, man, after all this shit happened over here, that ain't bullish, my friend, or at least not to me. Anyways, to follow up on this from yesterday, yes, we did hit our downside target, actually right around 135, and we are getting our short-term bounce right now. I do think that this bounce actually will continue a little bit more. We do see some hidden bullish evidence populating right here, which will be confirmed on any sort of a closure, basically here or higher. I'd like to see it a bit above about 136.5. At that point, how much can this one bounce? Into the mid 140s is completely fine. Doesn't really do too much. But again, you hit extremes here on even your 4-hour BBWP. And I assume your daily is also finding a little bit of a range high right here as well. And I do suspect that this is going to be your high for a little bit more time, to be quite honest with you. And I think at best this one's going to be ranging between its current lows and that high at about 160 for a while. And then yes, over time, do you actually think that this one will put in a rally from this region? Probably yes. I mean, it's really had no major sustained bounce for 1, 2, 3, 4. Working on month number 5 right now. It's been beat up enough for the time being, in my opinion, or it's not really my opinion, but then again, I look at the 5-day, and this is rather concerning. Although you do have some potential regular bullish divergence being formed right there. Let's go back to a 4-hour right here. I actually feel a lot more confident just talking about a 4-hour. In this case, you're going to see volatility start to contract here. So the 4-hour jewel play that is probably going to, turn white and then maybe even turn to the upside is just going to be a bounce most likely and range at best for a while. So I would still play this one in the same way that I postulated yesterday, where I say, hey, look, as long as you're above this level right here, even on a 4-hour closure, which is basically the 200 simple for right now, I wouldn't necessarily be looking for this one to fall back down around its 120 or so low base, somewhere right around here. Actually, in fact, I'll put in a blue box. I'm looking for this one to bounce first. Hey, if the bounce brings it back up and maybe even closes back above 161, yeah, then I would say correction is over and it's ready for some, more sustained upside. And in this case, I'd have targets up to 175 to 180-ish region. And long term, I'd actually be looking at about 240 to 250, to be honest with you. But for right now, I do think that this one is probably looking for a short-term bounce, upside maybe around 145 to 150-ish region. Assuming that no closures above 160 are had, I'm just looking for this one to trade sideways at best and then probably come back down somewhere around this prior low. If you see another spike there with a higher low in comparison to obviously your 110 lows right there, that's where I actually start to look at this one as probably put in a major low. But even the daily jewel is lost its upside curvature right there. It's turned white. So I do think that you are going to be looking at a daily correction for what it's worth right now. Let's go check out momentum from a stochastic perspective here, just to see dailies turning down below about 143. So that would be corrective at best for right now. 12 hours going to be hard down below about 162. 6 hour is going to be actually almost fully resetting and will turn up above 145. 4 hours going to be showing what? Turning up above 137, so right around the corner there. So again, short-term bouncy. On the daily, I'm still probably looking for this one to trade sideways at best for a while. Hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Carderpio, Sirs, and Zers. And Jack is back. He's got Jack is back. Love it. What? Oh, it's MetaMan. Okay, sorry. We'll get to that in just a second here, Mr. Jack, but I think MetaMan just jumped in front. Ethereum, Bitcoin, 4-hour and daily. We bought him in here or going lower first before new highs. Let's go check this one out. We didn't look at this one this week just yet, I think. But last we looked at it, it was based off of the 7.5 million Satoshi region. The same, my LARP line's still holding in there, but this is again just more for fun rather than like a legitimate analysis. Although to be fair, this is not what I'd stand by right here, but I'd certainly stand by both of these regions. They're basically just horizontal levels, obviously. The most important one's going to be about 7.8 million Satoshis, obviously, to the upside. Above there, I would say correction is over, and it's time to be looking for, returns back up to your 8.5 million, maybe even 9 million Satoshi highs, and, long-term continuation. Obviously, if you are bullish, you're probably looking at something like this, right? You're looking at something resembling a falling channel, similar to Bitcoin, actually, but that does not mean that it can't come back down and actually retested around about low 7 million Satoshis. So your question quite literally is, we bought him in here or going lower first before new highs? Well, if you're on a 4-hour or daily, that's going to be a much different analysis. I wouldn't officially call a bottom right here, which this would be a higher low actually, until you actually do close back above about 7.8 million Satoshis. And that can even be had on a 4-hour as well. If that happens, yeah, I'd be calling a bottom here and I'd be targeting, basically back around, just shy of 9 million Satoshis. Yeah, there's going to be stops along the way, but long term, I'd be looking for this one to continue with the up in the right party, which I actually do think this one probably is going to be doing. Looking at a 5-day, Not really getting anything super obvious right here. And if I am, it's to the downside. Looking at a weekly, again, bounce off the 21, still okay. Problem is, though, is that if you do take out the prior low, in this case, we could even use a 4-hour right here and judge it pretty much right, 7.33 million Satoshis. I would be looking for at minimum another retest. Or sorry, not another retest, but a test down to the 7.15 million Satoshi region on the 200 symbol right there. Probably another bounce there. I'd want to come back to it after that. I wouldn't make any further calls for the time being. But for what it's worth, very similar structure here on the short-term timeframes to Bitcoin. Same sort of things apply to harken back to the prior message about altcoin analysis. Yeah, I mean this. Pretty much a very, very similar chart here on the 4-hour. You have your bottom right here. You have your nice little high structure right here. You have a potential higher low right here. Where does that get confirmed? Well, you got to trade above, your last redemptive high, obviously, and that would confirm it. Then you got a 4-hour reversal. And to be fair, you actually do have, you do have some bullish divergence coming from this point to this point. In fact, how high does that go up towards? Or sorry, you don't, because that is obviously not a lower low. So my apologies on that. That is not true. But you do have a bit of a small drive right there on a 6-hour. So I'm looking for a bit of short-term upside. But I wouldn't call a bottom just yet. I do think that it's in the cards, but a lot of things need to happen first, and you're probably gonna see Bitcoin do the same thing if that is going to happen to begin with. So yeah, man, hopefully that was helpful right there. Okay, now we got Jack. Oh, you fucking bastard. All right, NWB. Commodities have been outperforming a lot of breakouts. Would that be wait, commodities have been, okay. A lot of breakouts. Would that be the canary in the coal mine for stocks and crypto? Seems like sentiment has fully shifted to risk off. Yeah. I mean, you're seeing this being priced in right now, right? So the whole narrative right now is kind of surrounding inflation. So that's what's on everyone's minds, right? And because it's also a political thing as well, where people need to get reelected, especially in the U.S. and I'm sure it's similar in other countries as well, kind of dealing with the same situation. They want to now focus on this to look like they're doing something, and maybe they are doing something. I mean, it's probably minuscule to be quite honest with you, considering the whole situation. But they need to look like they're doing something so that when it comes time to reelection, they can say, "Hey, look, this is what I did. I was hard on inflation, man. I fought for your dollars or your euros." Or your pounds in your case, it looks like. But where was I going with this? Okay, yeah, but basically all of this is being priced in right now, right? So you're hearing talks about rate hikes, you're hearing talks about tapering, you're hearing all of this. And what I truly think is going to happen, because you are seeing such a uniform response, not just from like the Fed, but also politicians, and then of course banks as well. What I truly think is going to happen is you're going to see like maybe a couple rate hikes this year, maybe, and then they're going to back off of all those statements. I genuinely think that, and so you'll see a bit of a rotation here into commodities, and then after that you'll probably see party on once again. To be quite honest with you, I mean I don't think that that's going to be stopping, just because we don't really have a macro situation for that to really occur like healthily. And again, I'm not the best person to ask about economic situations, because I don't think that anyone truly understands them, and it's what is old saying, it's easier to macro bullshit than micro bullshit. But from what I understand from the people that I trust to really understand these sorts of things, they kind of share those. That's basically who I'm kind of parroting in these sentiments, in the sense that, you're probably gonna see a little bit of that. You're seeing that pricing right now. Once push comes to shoves after the next sort of midterm elections, probably going to see a lot of that unraveled, and same old. Generally my thoughts right there. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, I can only read charts. I have no idea what the fuck they're going to actually do. And I can barely even read charts to begin with. Matic versus USD, says Mr. Jack. All right, let's get to it right now. Where's my Matic? There it is, 207. So did we get, no, we did not get my retest of the lows, but it's close enough in this case. I mean, I suppose yes, in this case, you would still have a higher low right here. What is the difference between hold on, let me just double check here. So we got down to $2. I was saying a retest of the lows from 10th of January right here. Close enough is close enough in this case. It's the same sort of analysis as yesterday, but again, you're seeing the exact same fractal of a chart here as what we saw on Bitcoin, as what we saw on Ethereum, Bitcoin, as what we saw on, pretty much everything that we've looked at thus far. If you're bullish, you're looking at this as a higher low. You got an no, you do not have some bullish divergence coming in right there, but that's okay. Either which way, how do you confirm this is a reversal back above about 240 in this case? At that point, I'm looking up and to the right with targets back up, basically around your prior highs after that. And then of course, where does this thing start to look quote unquote bad? below this blue box right here, the same level that we had from yesterday. That's where I start to look at this one as a lot more of a major reversal in progress with, I believe, if memory serves me correctly, yeah, targets down to about 160 to 170 range. And then I want to come back to it after that. But for right now, I mean, can you see some things that are concerning right here? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got a bit of a head and shoulders going on right here, similar to what you have on Bitcoin as well. Where's your neckline? That 190 the 192.5 region, same level yesterday in that blue box below there on a higher time frame closure. Well, probably going to be some pain for a while, and sideways and down is going to be the name of the game. But for right now, see what the 5 days closing today. I mean, that is a head and shoulders, to be fair. That is a head and shoulders, to be fair. I don't have anything to add on to that. But look, if Bitcoin does complete its own reversal right here, you're very likely going to see Matic do the same thing. And your first sort of inkling that that's going to be happening is going to be with any sort of even an hourly closure back of about 218.5. Until then, I do think that there's some signs here that that at least going to try a short-term rally. I don't have any particular signs that it's going to actually clear above at least the shorter-term most important region. I do want to check out what it looks like right here. Maybe the moons have something to say about that, or maybe the moon has something to say about that. I watched a video of him last night talking about. This was like the weirdest thing. He was, I think Mark B sent this, or someone sent this in the Discord. Basically, he was on a live stream and he asked the chat, he's like, okay guys, now I want you to guess how much money I'm worth. It's like, what the fuck? I don't know. It just seems like look, I guess I just don't understand it, man. Anyways, let's go over here. Daily, 223 would flip that baby back up, so that'd be even actually below the short-term time frame resolution point, like the lowest of the low. 12 hours showing 2.25. 4 hour is showing what? Is showing up above 203. Okay, so that's a little bit better for the short term. Hourly also above about 203. So I think Bitcoin's actually a little bit of an easier tell in this case, just a little bit more obvious areas for what it's worth. But again, Matic's going to follow whatever Bitcoin does in this case. Bitcoin breaks to the downside, you're probably looking at least another move down towards low 190s. See a break below there, then, well, big problems, I suspect. Until then, pray to Bula Jesus and have those levels kind of in mind, as that's likely where a lot of the price action is going to be postured around. Anyways, I'm going to take a sip of this. Okay, let's see. Ricky O is next. Oh, hey, what's up, Mr. Ricky O? .usd for in daily. Keep the hair, man. I've actually been telling Elsa I'm going to shave. I have to get rid of some of it. It's fucking ridiculous, actually. Anyways, Elsa says she'll dump me. Well, if you dump, you must pump. Anyways, that's my saying. I'll pump you up, girl. I'll pump you up, girl. Oh man, that's such a good Tinder line. Oh my god. Wow. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Well, if you dump me, I'm just gonna. It's on like fucking Donkey Kong. Pump it up, baby. Fucking pump me up. Anyways, .usd for on daily. Yeah, Dot just kind of doing the dance of death right here. What's our major level right here? Let me actually specifically call it out. That is going to be basically this low right here. That is about 23 even. Any sort of a daily closure below there, and I would call this one resolution of the downside with big targets down, man. Probably into the upper teens if that were to happen. But for right now, again, look, whatever Bitcoin, I feel like Biden, look, look. Anyways, looking at the 4 hour, again, you got a very, very similar setup here to Bitcoin, not as strong in the greater range of this, but in the shorter, pretty much the same chart, right? You have a little bit of a higher low in the making right here, where does actually get confirmed as a higher low of about 25.5. That'd be like your first inkling of some hopium being blessed upon you by Bula Jesus. Where's your big bad level though? Your BBL is right here, 28.5. That's where this one really starts to confirm a reversal, in my opinion, and next targeted move up to about $32. I do think things would pull back from there, but ultimately that would be a really, really strong signal, and very likely does bust on through and then goes on for a pretty nice rally after that. I would be looking into the low 40s actually, and again, very similar setup going on right here. Right, very, very low volatility. We do see some drives of bullish evidence populating off the lows. We do see daily Jewel is showing a bit of a downside signal, which is not good. Really don't want to see that one populate. Let's briefly check it out from a stochastic momentum perspective. I also forgot to announce, man, we actually have this one hosted on our own trading view, or not our own trading view, but on our own store in the app for the people who are asking how to get access to this. The creator himself wanted to list it, and it's one of the few indicators that actually use on a daily basis, so I was happy to oblige that. Anyways, looking at the daily right here, daily momentum is to the upside as long as this thing's above 24 and a quarter. So, or sorry, that's on an hourly. Hold on, apologies, that's not so relevant. 4 hours up above 24 bucks even, so good. 12 hour will turn up above 26.19, and daily is going to be flippy floppy, but will turn up above 25 and a half. So again, not as obvious as Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is just the most obvious chart right now for very, very specific levels. And then you're probably going to see altcoins just follow in its footstep if it actually does confirm above those, most importantly. Anyways, scooting back up on over here. Let me make sure that I'm getting the right ones. Okay, I did get the right ones. It's David. It's no. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, you just jumped on in there. Man, you just scooted your way on in there. Do you want to get some pump action as well? End of the days, but before that happens, XCAD short-term, please. Sure, man. I don't necessarily know what short-term means to you, but I'm just going to guess like an hourly and a 4 hour. Really good. Actually, really, really good here. Probably the best chart that we've seen today. In fact, definitely the best chart that we've seen today. This one looks like a breakout, man. This one quite literally looks like a breakout. That's actually really fucking good. Anyways, 4 hour. Are we above range highs? Pretty much yes. I'd say that this one's pretty much resolved already. Let's see. Yeah, I would say that this one is resolved right now. Obviously, if you're on a daily, you kind of want to see that one as well. But this is what a breakout setup looks like. Volatility coming off the lows right there. We do see daily RSI back in the bullish control zone. We do see price action above range highs, and I would be looking over the next few weeks for this one to maybe over the next week to week and a half for this one to trade back. Sorry, not trade back up, but trade to somewhere around $10 or so. Very likely pull back from there, and then if you see a higher low after that, then I'd be looking for a general continuation to massively new, or I wouldn't say massively, but big new optimize. Anyways, if you're specifically asking about the short-term time frames, would I be looking for that move to happen at this exact moment? Well, let's go check out an hourly. Hourly is going to start to show some bearish divergence right here, so perhaps a bit of a short-term pullback. I don't know if that's relevant to you or not. Targets down to like $8.50 are fine. I look at this one as a breakout in progress, basically as long as you're trading above $8, even on an hourly in this case. But yeah, short term, I do think it's going to pull back. You got extremes here on BBWP. You got bearish divergence right there. Hourly Jewel is, pretty much in a level it's never seen ever, except for one other time, and that was your last major pullback right here. So, it's going to be a little bit whippy, but I'd probably be looking for it to pull back into a higher low and then give a try. 4 hour, same thing as well. I do think that you're kind of getting close to extremes, so it's very likely going to be whippy there, but I think the most obvious one actually is the daily. I mean, this is very, very good. Very, very good. Hopefully that was helpful, man. Sweet. All right. Okay, let me scroll back around here. There we go. Okay, we got Mr. Noah. Mr. Daniel Taki is next. He says, just a quick shout out. Thank you, man. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. Oh, from the Bay Area. I actually grew up in San Francisco. So awesome, man. And thank you for that nice positive message, dude. That's awesome. Thank you. Sweet. Ramon says, FYI, Chrome is the basis for Edge Brave. Your app works perfectly with Brave if you clear the site data cookies. Interesting. We didn't know that. You know what? Elsa, I'm going to actually copy and paste that for our devs, because I don't think they know that. And we've just kind of been telling people blindly that for Brave it doesn't work. But if that's the case, man, massive thank you for that. That's actually really, really useful, and I'll let the team know. Thank you for that. Anyway, and there's a nice positive message as well. Fucking awesome, man. Good day. It's a good fucking day. Matthew Stanislaus says, hey, Krown. It's been a great stream indeed. Cardurpo, 4 hour and daily. Yep, we got that one earlier. Proof of Lucky, please. He is away right now, actually, but soon enough he'll probably be back. He always comes back now, doesn't he? Anyways, Casey says, good day, Zer Krown. FTM USD4 on daily. Yeah, I'd really like to check out this one. Seeing as it was knocking on a major breakout before, we said a pullback first and then likely a breakout will come, and we're getting a pullback first. Okay, good. All right. Well, I wouldn't say that's good, but I mean, it's to be expected. Yeah, okay, let's record this one. Let's actually do a new fresh chart on this one here too, so that we can just get the timeframes that you're asking about. Here we have phantom symbol FTM versus the dollar. And last we did say that this one is pretty much knocking on a major massive breakout in this case. And I do still stick by that. In fact, this one is actually among some of the strongest charts that we've seen today. However, we also did call a short-term pullback based off of, well, I imagine it was bearish divergence. Yeah, and the last time we looked at it, that was right there on the 4 hour. And whilst this one is still within the context of a nice uptrend, I would still be giving it a bit of, or I would still be not necessarily looking for it to just bust on through like at this exact moment. I would be looking at this on the short-term timeframes, as you did request for a 4 hour, as a bit of a range going on. In this case, range low is about 275. I think I said the pullback likely comes down around about 280. Close enough is close enough. I think this really meant to be more represented in kind of like an area like this anyways. But as long as you're above there, I do look at this as, likely your next higher low in the making. Where do you get confirmed as your next higher low? That would be with a full hour closure above 305. You could probably even use an hourly as well. Yeah, an hourly would work about 305, let's say. And then I would be looking for another retest of that 330 high, and then very likely continuation to new all-time highs after that. Here's the thing though, if you do fail this region, that being the 275 region, even on a 4-hour closure, I would be looking for, pullbacks down to about 240-ish region before the next try for a potential higher low. I think we also have a 5-day closing today. Indeed we do. And this is, still more or less good for me long-term. And we do see that volatility starting to just expand off of the last corrective phase that we saw kind of resolved back down around here from early December. So I still look at this one as one of the better charts, or among some of the best charts. Just seeing a bit of a pullback right here. I'm generally looking for this one to very likely go up and to the right. Again, this obviously does imply that you're not going to see a breakdown on Bitcoin. So, understand that, if you do see Bitcoin kind of break down below, I think it was 41.6 or 41.7. I think it was 41.6 actually. You're probably going to see this thing fall down to the next like 240 to 250 region first. But yeah, anyways, let me just pull it up from this angle as well, and then we can talk about maybe continuation targets, although I don't think it's necessarily relevant for today, to be quite honest with you. But daily stochastic momentum will turn back up with any sort of a closure above 308. So yeah, I do think this one is still kind of going to be ranged on the lows for a bit and playing out a bit more of a short-term correction. 317 on the 12-hour is the magical number. 6-hour is showing upside above about 289, but very, very low right there. So I wouldn't say that that's a conclusive signal just yet. And 4 hours showing 281 right here. So again, short-term bouncy, like very, very short-term bouncy. That's fine. Again, I do think trade back up here. I would not call this one, however, correction resolved until you're back above about 305. Until then, I'm seeing some good signs right here. You're pulling back into very low volatility. If you're in the TA program, you know that this is a Krown cross example right here, which I absolutely fucking love. So it doesn't mean they're always going to work, but it does mean that you do have a nice edge on your side as well. So very obvious areas to be managing off of, and very obvious areas to be looking for validation. Hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Phantom Sir. Sweet. Let me take a sip of this. What?
Tyler, can you do Tyler raise now on the bottom, but it's the same as you just...
For Tyler Reich, it was literally the same thing. We literally just did it. Anyways, I'll scroll back up on over here before I was so rudely interrupted. Hey, what's up, Salvage Center? Appreciate that, man. But feel free to have a message as well, sir. IR Brandon says, good morning. Would you mind taking a look at tether dominance? Yes. Okay, so you're saying that the 4 hour has a head and shoulders. You're hoping that it does. Well, all right. All right. let's go check it out, I guess. Let's see. First off, does it have that going on? Is this the head and shoulders right here? Not on a 4 hour, but maybe like on an hourly. I can't. I think I do see what you're talking about. Let me just zero in on this one. Come on, trading view. There you go. It's technically not really head and shoulders, but it is a lost momentum play right here, to be fair. Right. So you do have this area right here. You do have your obviously your higher lows coming in along this trend line right here. I would like to, I would still be waiting for about a 365% move before kind of validating this one as a bit of a short-term breakdown. And then, yeah, I would be looking for not like a measure move on this one to play out, which would, if you are looking at this as the head and shoulders, which I don't believe that it is, would be down to about 387. I do think that it would come back down to about 391 to 392 region. Here's the thing, though. I mean, look, man, I think you're kind of missing the forest for the damn trees here in this case. To shoot you straight, this is not a fucking bearish shot on the daily. This thing could easily pull back down to 390, and it's just like, all right, it's just another fucking backfill, and up and to the right is still the name of the game. So if I do want to create the most bearish case I can, it's certainly coming in from something like this. Is what I'd be saying right there. So. Take that as you will, but yeah, is the hourly going to come down there? Probably does have a little bit of downside, but it's not really bearish. On the time frames that really matter for direction, I wouldn't say that's necessarily bearish right there. Same thing as Dixie as well, which probably should have, I forgot to talk about it on this damn stream here too. Sorry, on the recording earlier. Now we actually do see a rejection kind of at the level that you do want to see there, which is good. Well, if you want to be generally bullish, although it doesn't necessarily always work like that. The LARP lines, holy shit, man, these LARP are starting to have like some sort of magical effect or some shit. kind of doing that actually right now. If you do see a closure basically below about 95 440 or so, I would say that that is going to be a bit of a throwback before at least another test of 94.5 and maybe even further down over time. Again, the higher term time frames, like, am I bearish on this? Not yet. Am I bearish on this? Not yet. Am I bearish on the quarterly? Not yet. But it is starting to become a little bit more populated in the cards right there. Tether, I'd say, is less so, however. And to be fair, Dixie also has a less strong relationship with what you're looking for than Tether, to be fair as well. But yeah, I mean, an hourly is not really what I'm looking for on those. I'm looking for a longer term trend. If you play those lower term time frames, you're just going to get whipped around, in my opinion, especially on something like that really represents more of like a macro look on these assets. Okay, you have Dane D. He says, Floki shitcoin dog of dog analysis. Finally found an entry. Hello, thank you, good sir. Oh dear lord, what have we done now? Hey, nice avatar there. Is that Mr. Who the fuck is that, man? Is that Hulk Hogan? Hulk Hogan is Elsa's favorite superhero. Hulk Hogan. Don't you know Hulk Hogan? Okay. Well, it's every like Finnish or Swedish person's favorite. Yeah, I don't know about this chart, man. Don't know about that one.
Oh, God.
Finally found an entry. It's just one more go around. Wow. I mean, sir, this thing. No, this one's been banned from the moon, and the Copacabana also has said, fuck you. I don't even care if you have a Vax passport. You're out! You're out! Well, the worst day of the chart award goes to, worst chart of the day award goes to Floki fucking Inu for the shitcoin of the chart. Oh, again. No, stop all of that. Stop all of that, man. Found an entry. I do understand that in crypto, shitcoin talk, basically, when you do come back down to your prior all-time low, you're probably due for a bounce. Maybe. But man, what's that Texas saying? That beautiful Texas saying? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, man. A lot easier to find an entry into an uptrend rather than pick a bottom for a downtrend, of which, on something that, I'm going to guess that this thing probably doesn't have any real or tangible or good fundamentals. Now, short term, is it going to bounce here? Probably, yeah. Probably, yes, going to bounce. But I do think that best it does to the upside, like best in the best fucking situation possible. Like, we're talking just the stars aligning and you get the pump and dump that you probably are looking for. I think best it does to the upside is like 10 400 or whatever the hell that number. I don't even know, man. It's too small. Anyways, got Echo ZN next, says Vet BTC, daily weekly. Girlfriend recently found out I'm a closeted VeChain bag holder.
Oh, she found out about the VeChain holder. It is a stage in an intervention for crippling opium.
Yeah, man. I can't do the high right now. My voice actually hurts way too much. VeChain hopium. Look, the biggest hopium for any chart that we're going to look at is that Bitcoin's going to have a reversal here. If Bitcoin falls through the floor, this thing's going to fall harder. This thing's probably going to come back down to its summer lows, like these wick lows here at about 5.5 cents or so, if that happens. If we go over here to a daily, the hopium is that you're just going to see a reversal from your prayers to Bula Jesus. He's going to answer your prayers. You got some bullish divergence forming here on the daily, but holy fucking moly, you don't have a local low stated just yet. So where would you confirm a local low? I mean, we're talking like minimum requirements right now would be about 7.5 cents on a daily, no fucking less. Even on a full hour, again, you got some bullish evidence right there. Could easily have a short-term bounce up. But if you're talking like long-term, which sounds like you are, it's got a lot of work to do, man. I wouldn't really be calling any sort of a major low here until at least you're above 7.5 cents. And then on a 5-day, it would be more like, honestly, more like 10 cents, to be honest with you. And that would look really, really good for a move back up towards your Q4 highs or so. Monthly, again, like this is not the chart that I want to be in if Bitcoin shits the bed here. This one's going to get absolutely fucking boo caked. 5.5 cent probably, and then maybe long term would be like below 3 cents or so. But again, if Bitcoin picks it up, this thing very likely falls as well. Everyone's kind of tethered to whatever Bitcoin does typically. Anyways, I'll scroll back up on over here, and we have Matthew Stanislaus. Since you already did Cardurpo, can you do Ethereum Bitcoin? We already got that one as well, man. It's like someone read your fucking mind. Insane. Caffeine IV says CRO 4 on daily. Gotcha. All right, CRO. So this is crypto. Welcome to crypto.com. Anyways, you are looking at what, a 4 on daily? Okay. Yeah, no one knows about this one either. Well, it's parabolic blow off top, and well, you're spending a very long time going sideways. Kind of exactly what we did say. But I do look at this one as I should be looking at this as a breakdown, kind of similar to Bitcoin, but without that continuation just yet, especially on this low volatility read right here. I'm inclined to say that you actually might have a trappy situation. Kind of the criteria to confirm it is the same as before. We can just move this point over to that last rejective high, make it a little more obvious. But 49.25 right there would be like your quote unquote good area. Obviously, again, just easier to watch Bitcoin. Whatever Bitcoin does, this thing's gonna follow. I mean, look, man, it barely even trades. Like today, today has just over 5,000 trading volume on the fucking day. Might I add, if I didn't get out that point properly. Where's your range lows right now? Somewhere down around here at about 39.40 cents or so. And I'd be looking for a bounce there. If you do get a continuation, again, that's probably Bitcoin breaking below, what was it, 41,600 or so. If you see that, you're probably going to be looking somewhere down around there. Until then, this would be sort of my confirmation for a short-term reversal and short-term trap with targets back onto the upside. Probably back around about 55, maybe even as much as 60 cents. Would look a lot better, but the main points here, and this is where I kind of want to do like a little bit of a short-term deep dive, is essentially this. Remember, we identified in November, I believe it was, November, we hit extremes here twice on daily BBWP, and we were saying, hey, look, this this thing, well, this is good, obviously, right here. At best, it's going to be going sideways for a very long time, months. And this is kind of what you're seeing right now. So, now we're in January, so it's been about 2 months. I expect that this could go on for like another month before you do see like a major resolution, to be fair. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for that, sir. Sweet. All right. Let's see. Where am I at now? Let's see where. Okay. MM says, "Hey man, all good. Could you look at Harmony 1?" Yeah. Symbol 1. Doing half. Let's see. Have a look at this. I apparently circled this region out. Don't know what the fuck that's about. My LARP line didn't work though. Those fucking bastards have it out for me. So we're gonna get rid of that one. It never happened, and that's okay. Anyways, let's see, this one kind of similar to Phantom, actually, already retesting around your long-term highs and getting your first pullback from there. Your pullbacks to the 55, that's okay. I just want to see a higher low being printed here. That would look pretty damn good. How are people spamming the chat? That's the real question. How are you able to spam the chat? There's like a 5-second delay. Anyways, I'd probably be looking for a bounce here short term at minimum. You didn't really include time frame, so I don't really know where to go with this one, but I do think that it very likely does bounce here short term. I'm not seeing any obvious divergence calls just yet, which would make targets a little bit more easy. So I'm trying to pick out something that's obvious right here. Let's see, maybe a 12-hour. Nope. Nothing really has it. We all just have, it all just has, hidden bullish divergence potential, but not confirmed just yet. So where would I start to confirm, some actual areas that matter for direction right here? That would be in this case, right around this little rejective high, which is about 30.5 cents above there. I'd say that this one is actually going to start to put in a nice higher low here on some time frames that matter, namely the daily, which you do see a pullback into the 55. You do see low volatility, respectively speaking, and you do see lower lows on daily RSI already. So that would be a potential continuation setup. But of course, that hinges upon the fact that it actually remains above what would be, let me see where your range lows are right now. I'd say basically the 200 simple in this case, but if you want to go by the book, it's technically like 26.75, so kind of a wide range right there, which I don't feel is too helpful. Weekly's a backfill for right now, so I still should like this one. Monthly, a little bit concerning. 5-day closing today, still good as well, man. Like, I shouldn't be looking at this as bad, but problem is that if you fail to see continuation, then you do hit that trigger for the downside below that region, you will naturally have bearish divergence on 5-day RSI, which will have targets first down to about 23.5, and then more long term could very easily come down to like, 20 cents or so before the next base is set in. Long term, like very long term, 6 months to a year down the road, I still like this chart. But if it does fail that region, you're probably looking at something more like this, where it comes all the way down, tries for a higher low there, and then goes to the upside. The hopium is that you're going to set in a higher low right here and swing back around. Okay, what is going on right now? What is going on with yous right now? What's the oh god about, sir? Who is Richard Simmons? Did I miss something? Did I miss something? I think I'm. All right. Well, whatever. Okay, beautiful. Okay, sweet. Anyways, yeah. So again, I don't really know where you want me to go with this one without any time frames, but I do think that at least you try for another bounce here. Do you get above 30 and a half cent or not? If you do, that's going to be your next sort of quote unquote good signal. Anyways, I will get off of that one for now. Swing back on over here. And let's see. We got no problem, Pasquale, Gene. You're saying down. So for Mike, do you mean?
Yes.
Okay, Mike. Ecomi, 4 hour and daily. Okay. What is is it OMI? I think it's OMI. Yeah, it is OMI. Okay, I remember this one. On OKX, 4 hour and daily, looking for a pullback. Would I be looking for a pullback here? I guess is the question. You've already retested your range, or basically your highs in this case. So, a lot of the time it's very relevant to be looking for a pullback just based off of that. You did hit extremes here on daily BBWP. Yeah, I do think that this one is probably setting up for a bit of a short-term pullback here. Full hour, some bearish divergence come off the highs right now. Short-term pullbacks down to like 7/10 of a cent is completely fine. Daily, I'm gonna like this one long term. It's just I'm just looking for the next pullback into a higher low, and that can come probably somewhere around 7/10 of a cent. Don't have a super strong opinion on it right now. Monthly is obviously bullish, bi-weekly long-term bullish, weekly long-term bullish as well. 5-day closing today also long-term bullish, but I do think that you're looking at a bit of a short-term pullback here. Let's see. Cecilia says, hey, Krown, where can I find BBWP on TradingView, and can you share your settings? You literally just type in BBWP on the public library, Cecilia. And where can you find my settings? I actually have a video on this on what's it called? On my YouTube channel. In fact, if you just type in like Krown Crypto and BBWP, it'll show it up there. But you know what, Cecilia, just for you, we'll do it like this. 13 length, 252 look back. There you go. That's all that it is. Nice and simple. Anyways, Brian David, sorry, show that spell token. I can show it, man, but like, don't you want a time frame or something? Show it. Sure. I feel like this is a marketing ploy. Wow, pretty bad, man. I'm not sure you want me to show this shit. Yeah, pretty fucking bad there, man. I'd have to say pretty fucking bad, actually. Pretty fucking bad. Nothing really bullish about this chart as long as you're below about 1.6 cent. Doesn't mean it can't get back above there, but I have no reason to be bullish on something that looks like that at this point in time. 5-day is continuation, sir. Is there a better chart than this, though? Maybe more history would be good. Nope, even less history. The OK coin. Even less history. What the fuck is this, man? Jesus Christ, where are we going to get one? Maybe CoinX? There we go. We got some more history, and still bad. I'm not so sure you want me to show that one, man. Now, here's the thing. Look, whatever Bitcoin does, this thing's going to follow, as always. If Bitcoin turns to the upside, you're probably going to see this thing turn back above. If it gets above 1.6 cent, you're probably looking at a nice reversal for the long term. But I really don't trust this chart on its own. It's certainly relatively weak compared to most of this market. Let's see. NWB says, I use clickbait sensationalist YouTubers as my contrary indicator. All the open math thumbnails screaming 30,000 soon means reversal soon. Really, I haven't actually didn't do the rounds today on crypto YouTube. Let me see. Actually want to now I want to see, man. This would actually be fun to do on video, but I fear that I might say something not very nice if we go through this. Let's see. Okay. Okay, we should actually look at this together. It's kind of funny. All right, let's see. There's my video. Nice, I did it. Bitcoin, a realistic path to 100,000. I don't know. It sounds like more hopium to me, man. The turning point for Bitcoin is coming. What's the turning point, might I ask? And hey, there's Jason. What's up, Jason? Crypto millionaires are made in 2022. More hopium, sir. Can a Bitcoin only rally happen again? Okay, interesting question, sir. Will China buy Bitcoin? Sounds like from Mr. Pomp. it's in his fucking name, man. It's hopium. Crypto in danger. All right, now we're getting into some doomium right there. This very interesting guy. Most underrated altcoins. Yep, that's exactly what you do when you don't know what the fuck's going on with Bitcoin. What else do we have, man? Looks legit. Definitely a scam right there. Nothing can stop this crash. All right, so we're getting pretty bearish now. Okay, it's pretty heavy-handed words. Bitcoin remains boring. Okay, yep, talking about altcoins, of course. Bitcoin fib TA on accumulation. That's not how that works, actually. Interesting. Okay, we got another very bearish. This guy's quite interesting. Very bearish one right there as well. I think that's it. Massive move. Hey, is that Acoin? Is that Acoin? Oh my God, is he back? Is that him again? Maybe that's kind of coming off as racist, actually, because like, you know, it's like, is that Morgan Freeman? I don't know. Sorry, I can't help it, but it looks like Akon. Look, the reason why I'm saying that is not because I'm like racist or something. It's because he's been on this channel before, and he was basically telling people that if they don't want to be poor, they need to go buy a coin. Okay, look, anyone who says that, no matter what their color is, sounds a little bit sketchy to me. Just saying, just fucking saying, okay? And yes, he does look like Denzel Washington. Just saying. Elsa thinks it's funny. That's disgusting. Look, I'm just making an observation. That's all. That's it. That's it. Okay. Well, that was fun. Yep, I'm going back up. AK Makar says, Adam, 4 hour, please. Sure. I'd actually rather look at link, but we kind of already did it, so fair enough. 4 hour, okay. This one's actually making a move right here. This is good. This is quite good. I'd actually put this one in the strong camp. Here we have Cosmos symbol, ATOM versus the dollar, and what do we have? We actually have one of the more stronger charts, especially in the short term here as well. It's already, you know, testing around its prior highs. We do have a higher low that is very, I would say, already confirmed right here, which is good. I'd be looking for a short-term continuation alongside volatility expansion. 4 hour Jewel is also pointed up. Anywhere around short-term about low 40s, about 40 and a half to $41 or so on the 4 hour. Daily, however, is where I imagine a lot of the magic is happening right now. What do we have? Another higher low right here. Hidden bullish divergence potential on that higher low upon closure for validation. And daily volatility is coming off the lows as well. This is a breakout setup. If those factors do get confirmed, obviously you want to see an actual confirmation above about what does it say right here, like 44 and a half, the same area that you've been getting rejected around, but above there, looking for a first move to $50, and then longer term in the following weeks above about 60 to 65 or so. Look pretty damn good, man. The only way that I really invalidate this one short term is obviously by coming back down and taking out that last prior higher low, which is 35.80, which one I just target the bottom end of this blue box at about 32 and a half, and then want to come back to it after that. Make no other calls on that one. But yeah, man, hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Adam. Yeah, Adam. Wait, maybe we just briefly check it out over here. Maybe this can make things a little bit more simple if we find some good confluence here. Yeah, 4 hour stochastic momentum up above 35.80. Daily is showing fresh upside above 38 and a half, which is currently trading above right now. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say this one's likely to continue, man. I think your big bad breakout is probably coming, and this one's one of the more strong ones in the market. Assuming invalidation does not get hit. So hopefully that's helpful. And there you go for Adam Sir. That's man. Yeah. Can you please? Looks says BS hourly and 4 hour. I think last we looked at it, no pun intended, it was actually bullish, funnily enough. And pin my message. I think there's a please somewhere there. Pin my message, please. Suck my penis, please. All right, there we go. They're closed. Yeah, still good, man. I really don't have an in-depth analysis on something like this, though, man. It's too new, and I really don't trust it, to be honest with you. But I guess I'm looking still. Let's see. Did it hit any major regions here? Let's just see. I remember yesterday we did say somewhere around about $6.50 to $7 or so. I think that you're already at 6.5. Maybe a little bit more, and then I'd be looking for a bit of a pullback, basically, somewhere around there. But generally good. I really don't want to make too much out of a very short-term chart right here, for what it's worth. Nimai says Rose USD 4 on daily. If you were looking for an entry point for medium to long term, I don't know what medium to long term means to you, dude. So that's always going to be a problem. with no time frames given. No fucking idea. Anyways, I'm looking for a medium to long term. Also, I don't know what your trading strategies are. I don't think that this one's bottoming right here, if that's basically what you're asking. I do think that this one comes down just below 40 cents or so, and then maybe if I'm really looking for a long-term position, that's perhaps an area, but that only becomes relevant, you know, just because there's a well-defined area within that region that would mark off invalidation, which would be about 34.5 cents or so on a daily closure. Other than that, I really don't have a strong opinion. I think it's a decent long-term chart. Just I do think that this one can very easily pull back a little bit more, especially if 5-day doesn't get continuation. It's kind of not great. Hourly, we've shown more signs of bounce here than not. Yes. Again, easier to watch with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin breaks down, this thing's going to break down with it and very likely see somewhere around 40, just below 40 cents, something like that. Sean Waller says, hey man, please do a live review of other YouTube channels and how they do I could do that, man, but it's like, I don't want to err on the side of negativity simply because, you know, like attracts like, right? And if I do that, I'm going to attract a lot of people who are just, you know, kind of probably not the people that you want to be around. So I don't think it's a good idea, although it would make for some fucking funny content, man. But I will hold off on that. I don't think it's my place to do, nor do I want to. Yeah, I don't think that's wise of me to do, man. Yeah, I'll just leave it right there. All right, cool. Slagathor, nice name, but no comment. All good. Let me plot back on over here. Okay, we did Adam. Simp token, FTT, please, for and daily. Okay, let's try this. FTT, USD on Binance, and you're looking at a 4-hour and a day. Good. Very good, actually, on a 4-hour. This is continuation. Daily is good as well, man. This one just confirmed a local bottom, actually. Actually, this is among some of the better charts that we've seen today. I'll be looking for this one to pop up to mid 50s actually in the coming weeks. Very, very good. Very fucking good. I'd only invalidate this one with a closure. Should I record this one? How many videos do I got for today? Let me just double check over here. No one's asked about Ethereum as well. That's kind of crazy. That's fucking crazy, man. Might as well. Here we have symbol FTT or FTX token for the good old Sam coins. This one actually confirming a major low in this case and about to pop back up. In fact, it's kind of already confirmed above the area that I'd be looking for, which would have been about 45.5 or so. I'm looking for this one to generally continue from here in the next couple weeks, very likely up to the mid 50s in this case. If I put on this, do we still have it? No, I don't really have like a long-term chart on it, but we can certainly do a long-term chart on it. Be something like this. Boom, there's your highs. You got your rise and lows coming in around here. What is that? A long-term ascending triangle. I don't think it's going to break anytime soon, to be fair, but I do think that it does have some more upside from here. We just got, or we didn't just get, but we just confirmed as of last closure on the 5-day, some regular bullish evidence come off that last low and hidden bullish evidence from in comparison to this low right here. So I'm looking for this one to go up into the right from here. This is really, really good actually, especially on a day like today. I would only invalidate it short term if you do see a daily closure below 42.5. Until then, this one's trending, especially on the short and medium term timeframes, looking for it to go up into the right, sir. Quite good actually. There will obviously be pullbacks along the way. Short term, somewhere around about 51 to 52 or 53, and then long term, you know, around your last major highs and whatnot. But overall, pretty damn good. Hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for FTT, sir. Cool. Okay, got that one. Time to wear your Elton John glasses. Flux, please. All right, Flux. My Flux coin's gonna make me rich. Flux, not rich. Flux coins, not rich. Not rich. They didn't make me rich. But probably put in a local low right here. Where would that be confirmed? I don't know when I made this chart last, but it'd be the same areas before. 230. 230 so in a 4-hour closure, and then I look for this one to pop back up into your 260 to 270s region. Forgive me though if I say this, it does not look too strong right here and looks like it could very easily go to downside, and if Bitcoin does show any weakness, this thing will give up all of its gains most likely. I feel like that's how some people want me to talk. But for right now, yeah, I just have my eyes on this area right here. And about 230 would be like your first sort of confirmation of a, in this case, you know, a relevant low being put in for like a, you know, 4-hour time frame with targets up a little bit. But you didn't give me any time frame, so I don't know. I don't know where to go with that one. Echoes Yen says Nexo BTC 4-hour and daily. Okay, a Bitcoin pairing here. All right, Nexo. What the fuck is Nexo, man? It sounds like a scam. They all sound like a scam, but this is not a scam chart, at least on the 4-hour. On a daily, also not a scam chart as well. This is pretty fucking good so far. This is really fucking good. among some of the best charts that we've seen today. I'm looking for continuation into the next few weeks towards your prior all-time highs. And probably new all-time highs is good. 5 days also about to close strong, it looks like. Yes, indeed it is. Daily, as you requested, continuation. I'm bullish on this thing as long as you're above 5,000 Satoshis. 4 hours trending right now. Invalidation below about 5,400 on closure. Very good. Very fucking good. Cool. James Kelly says, does your body hair give you Samson strength? I wish. That's what I tell myself. But you can never be so sure in this world, sir. Jacob Mistakes is XCAD. Yep, we got that one earlier, so all good there. I think I might have even recorded it as well. Nick B33 says, Hopium plus Doomium scenarios of Sol. Just for clarification on my upcoming Sol Super Chat, I'm asking about mid to long term. Okay. All right. Let's see what this one's got. Okay, so Doomium. Let's do Doomium first because that one's always more fun. Doomium is crashed down to $100, bounce there, and then continuation to about $65, $70. Hopium. Well, where's your Hopium? Your Hopium, and that actually is a more valid call right here than what I'm about to give you for the Hopium, but I will give you a validation for the Hopium call. But basically, your Doomium, you actually do have a head and shoulders in right there, and that would have targets down somewhere between, actually more like $80 to be fair. So technically speaking, that's active until you actually hit the invalidation, which would be above last week's high. That would not confirm any sort of like Hopium targets for what it's worth. I mean, I think the best you're doing is like something like this, right? Hopium, okay, here's your Hopium is that you got a bit of a head and shoulders going in right there. Here's a neckline. So you could do the same thing as I did on Bitcoin in the sense that, hey, if you do trade above your right-hand shoulder, which is about $200 or so, then you would actually be able to apply that same measure move and apply target to the upside from that point at about 350. That's about best I can do for Hopium and Doomium in this case. Cool. Yep, we already spoke about that. God damn it, Ben. I can't give targets. That's financial advice, sir. Oh, you want to change it to UOS USD? My order number is, wait, your order, what's an order number? UOS? What is this thing? Oh, this is Ultra. Ultra. Not good. The LARP lines won't be saving this one, it looks like. Pretty damn bad as long as you're below that last rejective high at about 144. I think best you're doing for a while is probably some sideways here. I would call a big breakdown with any sort of a closure below about $1.05 with targets down towards 85 to 87 cents or so. Until then, I'm just looking for this one to kind of grind out its lows and probably play sideways for a while. Again, whatever Bitcoin does, this thing's going to follow. I know I repeat that statement a million goddamn times. Whoops, just hit my table. But this one's not strong on its own, in my opinion. I wouldn't call this one a reversal until you're back up about 140. What is it, 141? At that point, I wouldn't even call a reversal back to all-time highs. I'd just be looking for moves back to 175 or so. It is actually generally a good chart long term. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, not what I was expecting, to be fair. But yeah, be aware of where the validation of continuation of the downside is, and that is a little more important in this case. About $1.07. That's where problems start to really occur on this one. Anyways. Let's see. SpyKey1 says, morning, mister. What's up, sir? Can you look at Theta? Sure. Theta. All right. 1, 2, and 4. Okay. Well, daily's probably more interesting, but fair enough. Anyways, you're literally right at your range highs right now. It's also in line with the 200 simple right there. Just want to see a 4-hour closure above about 445. I'm actually just going to be the same thing for an hourly and 2 hours as well. And if that does get confirmed, I'm looking for targets back up towards 480 to 490, which can obviously bleed into the daily. Actually, no, that would not bleed into the daily. Daily starts to get resolved back above about 5.25. To be fair, I mean, this, is this a bit of a double bottom right here? We'd expect to see some bullish evidence. We got some bullish evidence come off the lows, very low volatility environment as well. So, first things first, short term, I want to see it confirm above those regions, and then that actually does kind of offer up the Hopium. Where does a Doomium start to, it's not even Doomium, but where does one start to look bad again? Below 420, great number as well. But below 420 on a 4-hour closure, I'm looking for this one to grind out its lows and maybe even go for continuation, but at least another retest of the lows. Again, easy to watch Bitcoin, man, at least in my opinion. I am Denzel Washington, and I am offended. Man, you're a great actor, though, so I hope that's not true. Burnt Crumb says, much love, Microsoft on daily. Yeah, Microsoft. Hey, all right, here we go. This is my old baby. I'm looking to redistribute some long-term investment. Jesus Christ, man, what the hell? There's too many damn lines on this chart. You're okay. Daily, You think continue? You're asking me if I think to continue downtrend. I do think that you're probably going to get a bounce extremely soon here. Maybe one more drive lower, just below $300. But the reason why I'm saying that is you're hitting extremes here on daily BBWP twice. You also do see that there will be naturally some bullish evidence forming over here. Very slight drives, to be fair, but it is starting to form. So I don't think that you have too much lower to go before the next big bounce, to be honest with you. I think max to the downside before like a big bounce is low 290s. Personally speaking, I do think that you're more likely to bounce sooner rather than later in this case, to be honest with you. Yes, somewhere around mid 290s if it does have one more drive to the downside. Until then, I'm actually looking for this one probably to play the bounce first. This one actually starts to look good again, back above about 325. That would be my confirmation of bear trap, actually, back above there. So I would actually not be of the same opinion of you just yet. The monthly, however, is where things start to be very, very nasty. So if I'm starting to wrap up my thoughts on this one, I do think you're probably going to have a bit of a short-term bounce here on the daily. Monthly is very much concerning. I can definitely understand what you're seeing right there. And if this does get confirmed with any sort of a closure below 315 by end of month, I would have targets down to about 250 to 260ish region minimum. I mean, you're seeing extremes here. You're seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 drives of bearish divergence populate itself. You know, this one's very likely looking for a greater pullback, to be honest with you. But yeah, probably looking for a greater pullback. But I do think that you probably have a short-term bounce in the midst here. Anyways, hopefully that was helpful. A little bit roundabout of an explanation there, but fair enough. Anyways, Jesus, Mr. Venegas is back. Says GLMR 1 and 2 hour. All right, gotcha. GLMR. I remember you asked about this one the other day. Let's see where this one's at. It's at nowhere because it's brand fucking new. So I guess we made a chart for it. It obviously got above the levels that we marked off. So that is my confirmation of a short-term reversal. I'm probably looking for this one at extremely short-term if you're asking about a 4 hour, which you are. Or sorry, you're asking about an hourly, which you are. I'm looking for a short-term continuation to about 1120. I actually do think that this one will bust on through there. You have a very low volatility read right there. Probably going to work its way back up over the next few days to like $12.50. Actually think that this one's okay. It's just a little bit too new for me, but overall, okay. Ever heard of crypto eco me? Man, we've looked at that one like 50 fucking times today, actually. But yeah, I have heard of it. But fair enough, man. Sounds cool. I think I want Krown to know me. I want Krown to crown me. You've been crowned, sir. There you go. Just grow your hair out and stop brushing it. And you know what? You too can also be me, I guess. Not that you should want to, though. I'm marked number 1, and I didn't comment all night. Fair enough. I see you over there. You got a green name, though. So all good. Someone give me a spanner. People need a whipping. I think all good, man. All right, sirs and sirs. I think I am going to be signing off now. We are about 1 hour 40 minutes into this video right now. Looking at Bitcoin over here. I still think Bitcoin has a little bit of a short-term chance here, to be honest with you. I do think that is within the cards here. So I am, well, I guess I'm a little bit more optimistic about this price action than, well, still, you know, I do want to see it actually clear above these, these areas right here, obviously, but it is showing the signals that you want to be looking for on a potential trap situation. Actually, making a little bit of a move right now can actually get above those regions. We got a 4 hour closure in about 18 minutes here, so you know, if it can take those regions out, that's going to look really, 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 really good, at least for the short term. Probably short term continuation implied back up to 43 plus or so. What?
Did you do mana from Goofy?
I did not do mana, no. Where?
It's the second from up.
Oh, my apologies. Sorry, my apologies on that. Yeah, for some reason I skipped that one. I apologize. Mana. Okay. Decentraland. Let's see what we got here. What do we have here on the Decentraland? And let me actually I need to make sure that I take profit on this position. So, uno momento, por favor. There we go. All right, Jesus Christ. Anyways, mana, and you're looking at what, a 4 hour daily. Let's look at a daily first. Again, this is another one of those charts that, you know, hit extremes in November. Remember, October and November actually. We said, hey, best this one's doing is sideways for a very long time, and that's pretty much what we're getting right here. And volatility is starting to really, you know, come down to some pretty low extremes here, which is a good sign that it is starting to mature. But where's your resolution to the downside? 261 on a daily closure. At that point, I'm targeting moves down towards about $2.10 to $2 even. And where would this one start to confirm a bit of a I wouldn't say it's a bear trap because it's not really a bear trap, but where to confirm like a bit of a confirmed reversal, or at least like the accumulation is starting to near maturity. That would be above about 318.5 on a daily closure. Now I should notice that we do have hidden bearish evidence right there. We do see that daily jewel is turning down. We do see daily volatility is very, very low as well. So technically that's a little bit more on the bearish side, obviously, but I'd still be waiting for an actual range resolution here. Until then, you know, short-term sideways is the name of the game, with very short-term on the 4-hour, probably having another move up to like 290 or so. Again, that doesn't really do much for like the daily range, but obviously puts you a little bit closer to the upside resolution than the downside in this case. So that's what I'd be saying about that. And I think that is a good place now to call this stream. So I think I'll be signing off. Maybe we just briefly go over it. Maybe I just actually hang out for a few minutes here. What's up? Elsa's having some excitement in the background. Richard Simmons is a crazy story. Disappeared without a trace. Wait, really? No one's seen it? Man, that's fucking crazy. People can just disappear like that. Like that's. Wonder who else who has disappeared, who were thought to have been deaded, I guess. Hey, what's up, Jeff? Good morning to you, man. And thank you for that, Ria. I appreciate that. Pop backed up this ground. Oh, if only, man. If only. I'm just reading through a few of these. Let's see. What's up, Mohammed? Good morning to you, man. Let me scroll down here, see if we got anything new going on right now. The rumor is he changed to a woman. Not joking. I mean, it is 2021 after all. I mean, dude, I think that's what fucking happened to Jeffrey Epstein, honestly. Well, no, well, I mean, he might have just been deaded, but you know, he just disappeared actually instead. I mean, who knows? We don't really have like good information on that, but who knows? We already did Mavic a few times, Mr. Druzy, so you can always scroll back or wait for the the video to come out a little bit later. What's up, Randy Fox? Richard Simmons is in the metaverse doing some band exercise. That's actually gonna be a cool thing in the future, man. We will be able to visit all, you know, people who are deceased, I guess, in the metaverse at some point. You know, just upload your consciousness to that. Amazing, just fucking amazing. I think the term is he got suicided. He didn't do it himself, but he suicided. It's crazy. How much do you deadlift, sir? I actually haven't deadlifted in a while. My current trainer doesn't have me deadlifting, but you know, I usually do it for reps, and I don't go that heavy. I think the most I've done for reps is like about maybe not even that much, like 250. Like I think like just under 300, which is not that much. Which most people can do a lot more. That Epstein got liquidated. Yeah, you could call it that as well. 2022. What's up, Edwin's generation? He got Clinton. Maybe a little bit of that. Yeah, the camera was off. Really, really weird stuff, man. And the whole thing with the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, I just don't... it's so strange that like that was such a hush-hush thing. It didn't really seem like that was natural, because usually we get a lot of details in trials and whatnot. But I guess because it was a federal trial, they weren't going to do that. But I don't know, man. Just seems like a lot of weird shit going on surrounding that whole damn thing. 300, come on, Krown, bump up those numbers. Yeah, man. I'm actually not. I'm not very strong, man. If you can't tell, as I adjust my glasses, I don't really lift too heavy, man. Thanks for your advice about just eating ground beef. Saved my life. I don't know if that's... Look, I'm not a nutritionist, man. I'm just sharing what I did when I was when I really couldn't afford anything other than ground beef. But you know, it's got a good amount of nutrition in it, and it can keep you alive when you just need food in quantity. So I'm glad that was helpful, man. But I can't promise you that it's a premier diet. That's all I can say. It's very, very cost effective though. That's what I can say. Krown, how tall are you? I'm pretty short, man. I'm only 5'8". I'm only 5'8". You could always change it to Weinstein. Yeah, Weinstein's a weird one, man. Weinstein's an even weird one because you got the Eric and Brett Weinstein, which Eric Weinstein, that man, I think he's a good guy, but he really does not present himself well publicly. And his brother, I think, is quite good. I actually liked his book. Hey man, no problem, sir. Fine Wine says 42,300, then bigger dump than you've ever taken, all the way to 39,700. Do you promise? For sure? Anyways, Frog Nation says, long time, sir. It's been a very long time. Spell. We actually looked at Spell earlier. I don't think it was great. He's just coming in a little bit later, man. We can just might as well just fucking do it. I'm gonna close it up after this, though, man. You're coming in like the very end, and technically we've already closed things, but Spell. I do think you're looking at a short-term bounce here. I don't really have any targets for something like this because it's a little bit too new, and long-term it's pretty awful chart, but short-term bouncy. I wouldn't really call this one anything resembling a long-term reversal as long as you're below about 1.6 cent or so, a little bit above there. Frog Nation, you having a stroke, bud? Oh dear lord. Elsa's so positive. Yeah, Elsa's a great girlfriend. She's very supportive, which I actually quite like.
He thinks my laugh is annoying.
Oh, he says your laugh is annoying. Well, yeah, I mean, people on the internet seem to be very pissed off about people laughing, which is bizarre, but I mean, I hope your day goes better, man. Like, there will be no laughing on my watch. None of it. It's like, what the fuck? I don't know, man. I guess we all have our different things that we don't like. Anyways, I'm gonna be signing off now. It's been a nice and lovely stream. A little bit of a quieter stream, which is good to have from time to time. Bitcoin, not really too much to talk about, but the levels are set. It's been very consistent for the last few days here, and well, I don't really have much to add on to it other than that. I want to once again highlight the importance of the 41,600 level, which is going to match up with pretty much all time frames momentum turning down below there, 41.6 to 41.7. So do keep your eye out on those levels, because if Bitcoin does fail those regions, very, very likely we're going to at minimum see $40,000, and that that obviously sets up Bitcoin for a continuation move after that. But for right now, staying alive, just like Saturday night. And, well, I suppose that will be the ever dimming light of hopium as we move onwards and forwards from here. So with that said, I want to wish you well. I want to wish everyone the best of the best. Thank you for joining in. Be signing off now. Take care and see you hopefully very soon.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, XR, pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, bend it, fork it, hype it, pump it, dump it, rinse, repeat, but quick relocate. Pause it, list it, send it, burn it, pump it, hack it, quick rename it, take it, take it, lend it, send it, swell it, sell it, flip, unflip it, see it, watch it, learn it, know it, post it, tweet it, and repeat it, chart it, long it, short it, hedge it, post prediction, quick erase it, watch it, leave it, watch it, leave it, check it, click it, and refresh it, find it, drop it, crack it, lose it, curse it, pay it, to it, pay it, bar it, chart it, hide it, fight it, deal it, seal it, and unlock it, back it, send it, change it, lend it, mine it, grind it, how it, list it, praise it, curse it, trash it, hash it, roll it, troll it, and upgrade it, take it, take it, lend it, send it, swell it, sell it, unflip it, see it, watch it, learn it, know it, post it, tweet it, and repeat it, chart it, long it, short it, hedge it, post prediction, quick erase it, watch it, leave it, watch it, leave it, check it, click it, and refresh it, write it, code it, name it, read it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, chart